New series. Here we are. Exclusively audiophiles. I I have imposter syndrome. Ooh, let's work on that wording. I often second guess my true music critiquing ability because I just find my abilities so natural. And I was at work back in maybe May or June of this year. And I was talking to one of my coworkers about overhead headphones. And I had went on this whole journey of finding the right pair. Well, not the right pair, because even the pair that I have now is not like, once my mom let me try her AirPod Maxes and I was so irritated because she got hers on sale, and so they were a fraction of the price that they would normally be. And I did a little audio test with her AirPod Maxes and I was like, why am I so annoyed? I'm actually so annoyed. And so I'm talking to my coworker because I just got to this point where when I'm at the gym and I'm doing something that requires me to be upside down, my AirPod Pro second generation, they are falling out. I have very I have very uniquely shaped ear canals. And so Apple is the only brand of headphone products that make earbuds that fit my ear. Like, these wires and the AirPod first generations were the only audio tools that fit my ears. And so my AirPod Pro second generations, I have to get the extra small silicone tips. I believe that when you buy them, they come with small, medium, large, maybe, or extra small, small, and medium, something like that. All I know is I go back to Apple and I buy extra small silicone tips. But anyway, the gym. So when I'm doing something at the gym that's either like shoulder presses or anything that requires me being upside down, those headphones were falling. Earbuds, I guess they'd be described as earbuds. Those earbuds were falling out. So I was like, you know what? It might just be time. So I really am. I'm not gonna say I'm ashamed to say it, because ever since certain things have happened, politically, I have not been shopping at Target. And sometimes I feel like it can be a little bit of group think, because it's like, if you shop there for a specific item, it's like, don't feel like you have to punish yourself by now going on a wild goose chase to get that product at a different, like, you just have to pick and choose. You have to be intentional with your activism, and sometimes putting yourself in emotional distress to not buy a product somewhere is, I feel a little bit, it's an inconvenience. So I'm at Target after weeks and weeks and months of not shopping there, and I see that there are these JBL overhead headphones that are on sale for $90. And I'm like, all right, I have been thinking about investing in some overhead headphones for the gym. So I buy the headphones. I'm trying them out. only problem that I had, there were two major problems that I had with the JBL headphones. One major issue I have, oh, there's actually three. First major issue I have is, why are we having to use an external application to modify EQ, bass, and treble? I don't want to have to be listening to my music and then have to go to the JBL app to do things like that. I think they should configure it. Well, I guess Apple would have to agree to that, but I think there should have been some configuration where when you go to your settings and then you go to Bluetooth, you press the little information icon, and can we do it from there? Because having to go to an external application to mess with and configure and experiment with sound quality, I don't want to do all of that. So that was number one. Number two was the uncomfortability. I'm telling you, I don't know if my ears are not in the target demographic of size and shape for the architects, but I placed the headphones onto my ears and it felt suffocating. There's a pressure that I feel when I turn on noise cancellation, but that wasn't the pressure I was experiencing when I put these headphones on. When I put these headphones on, it felt like my ears were being compressed, and it felt stifling, like to the point where when I took them off, I would feel a lot of relief. So that was the second issue. The third issue, but what ultimately ended up being the main issue that I had with these headphones, is that when I had a song, that was in Dolby Atmos, it would be so low in volume. Imagine you buy headphones that are being marketed as wonderful noise cancellation, and when you have the noise cancellation feature on, along with the song being in the Dolby Atmos version, you can't hear it. So that was frustrating, and I noticed it, and I was like, at first I was like, okay, this song is really low. This song is like a decent volume. Like, what's going on between the two songs? Like, what's going on between these songs? Like, what is the one qualifier that can differentiate why this would be happening with one song and not the other? And that's when I realized that the lossless high resolution would be loud, and the Dolby Atmos would be quiet. And that's when I realized that I had to return these headphones, because I'm not going to be able to deal with not even being able to hear, and I have noise cancellation on. So I ended up returning the JBL headphones to Target, and the same day I went to Best Buy. So I go to Best Buy, and thankfully at Best Buy, they have places where you can try the headphones on. Now, I'm going to need some alcohol pads, because just thinking about the bacteria of it all makes me feel icky inside. So I saw that they had these headphones on sale from Bose. Some people say Bose. I think it's Bose. So I try on these headphones, and I'm looking at that price like, okay, I'm liking how that markdown is looking. So they had Bose QuietComfort, and that's what I ended up getting. And then they had another one, which is QuietComfort Ultra, which was almost $500. And I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna be going from $90 to 500. I could go from 90 to 250, but 500, I wasn't ready to invest that amount of money at that time. And so I got the QuietComfort Ultras, and I can say that how they've been working out so far is I love them. I would say I give them like an 8 out of 10. I give the JBL probably like a 3. I give the JBL a 3. And what I like about the QuietComfort is literally the comfort. I'm not sure if it's faux leather or what they have on the actual ear cushion, but I can say that the feel of the actual part that touches my ears is way more comfortable. Same kind of situation with, being able to, not really having the accessibility to change more of the headphone settings in the iPhone settings app. I do wish there were more configurations with that, because I don't want to have to go into an external app to do that. It's just it's very inconvenient. The one thing I would change, if I could talk to the architects of this headphone model, is I don't like when I change to the noise cancellation feature how much pressure I feel in my ears, because I think there's a very, very distinct way that you have to do noise cancellation. And with my AirPod Pro 2nd generations, I feel like that is the closest that I've been able to experience a seamless feeling. I will say with my aforementioned earbuds, there's still a lot of pressure I feel in my ears, but the sound quality is where it needs to be. With my QuietComfort, it gives speaker underwater vibes. It gives sacrificing the quality of the output quality of the music for the feature. When I put on the feature, it sounds like I'm underwater in 7 or 8 feet of water, and there's a big Bluetooth speaker underwater with me, versus the AirPod Pro 2nd generation. It feels like I'm above water, but I have on earplugs. And that may not be the best analogy, but I can just say that the QuietComfort Ultra, it feels muffly. It feels like there is a lack of clarity in the instrumentation when I have that feature on. And when I turn it off, there is more clarity in the instruments. So like with Apple, my advice would be is to figure out how you can do noise cancellation without putting as much pressure on the ear canal. And I don't know if that has improved with other AirPod Pro models, but I'm not paying to find out. I mean, I'm just not going to do that because at this point I have these wires. I have 2 pairs of these wires. I had AirPod 1st generations, which I gave to my sister. I'm not going to get into that because I'm a little disappointed with how they have been handled. Because I'm that type of person where if I'm out, I would have my wires with me, my AirPods 2nd generation. So there's no headphones dying over here. Once you have the wires, we're never going to have an issue. So, yeah, that's that with my sister. And then with the AirPod second generation, I have all these silicone attachments, and then I had the QuietComfort. And so I've built up quite a collection, and I just don't feel like going out of pocket and paying, 300, 400, 500 more dollars to see what's improving with Apple's interfaces. I just feel like Apple works backwards. Like, I feel like Apple goes all the way down the line to the 20th generation, and then they work their way backwards with the marketing. Because y'all knew when y'all released AirPods, y'all knew that we were going to want to track that case. And you weren't able to track the case at first. At first, you could only track AirPod left ear, AirPod right ear. Then all of a sudden, you could track that case. Because I think I lost 2 or 3 cases with my first generations. But yeah, like, I just feel like, especially once we get into how much it costs to make them and how much of a profit they're getting from us purchasing them. Yeah, maybe I'll go to the Apple store and test them out. But if nothing's life-changing, I'm not going to invest because I have hundreds of dollars of audio enjoyment equipment that I already have. And yeah, once my mom let me hear those AirPod Maxes, I was like, now the only thing about that, I don't know about that silicone square. I don't know about that. I don't know about long term or like long term wear, I guess, for several hours. Like, I wonder if, yeah, sweat was also a thing. With my QuietComfort headphones, sweat is a thing. And when I'm at the gym, I notice so many breakouts in this area to the point where I feel like when I wear them way behind where they probably should be, because I wipe my the part that touches my face down with an alcohol pad before I put them on. Like, I wipe it down and I let it dry. I would still have so many breakouts in this area. And so sweat is a thing. So if you have better experience with AirPod Maxes, or like, I just maybe need recommendations for the best overhead headphones for working out or an active lifestyle, that might be the solution. But yeah, so ended up talking to my coworker about the difference between lossless and Dolby Atmos and all of those things that affect sound quality. And then she was like, oh, you're a real audiophile. So that's when it sparked. Like, I just feel like being an audiophile, like, at one point I felt, and there is a small part of me that still kind of feels like you can't call yourself one. Like, the first time, it's like calling yourself woke. It's like a little bit cringy. I feel like I'm an audiophile. But once I was talking to my coworker and she was like, oh, you're really an audiophile. So like, there's a connection here. And that's when I was like, I can finally start this series. Like, when another audiophile is telling you that you're an audiophile, I feel like there was like some extra confirmation and validation in that statement. And I was like, okay, you can get over this like imposter syndrome because it's evident. It's evident. Yeah, so I'm excited to start this series because there's some things that I just feel like other people just can't relate to. They just can't relate to. And just realizing when you have that specific ear for music and sound in general, it opened me up to realizing that my ear is very tuned. Like, it's very, very tuned. And we'll get into more. I could really expand more. However, this is the first episode, and I have to remind myself, you don't have to get every single thing that you've ever thought of in relation to audio engineering out in one episode. This is going to be a series. So, yeah. And Apple, Bose. Is it Bose or Bose? Bose. I think it's Bose. Apple, Bose, JBL. Bring me in to the panel to test some things, and I can take some merch. But yeah, I'm not gonna be investing my own money in more headphones. So OMG. How did I done started the video. All right, let's jump straight into it. This video has been months, several months in the making. And I'm realizing that there's no such thing as the perfect time to film when you live with family. Unless you 100% for a fact know that you're going to be alone, there is no way to orchestrate the perfect time to film. Like, even now, the way that I'm in the middle of deep cleaning and you can see my ice maker and you can see things in the background, but the reality is this is living. This is life. So the house, in my opinion, is not going to always look staged. And if I wait until the end of the day to clean everything, if I wait until the end of the day to start recording while everything is clean, I'm usually burnt out. By the evening time. And so I'm filming this video now. And I'm also going to make sure this portion goes at the end so that the topic actually aligns with what the title is. So,